obsessively, relentlessly at your service. To me, it means being there 24/7, rain or shine, during storms, after storms.
Being a first responder to the community, to my customers.
Being there to get the customers back on and to see the smiles on their face.
To provide the kind of reliability that we can hold our heads high about.
And we want to keep our customers safe. Safety's first around here.
And that's rewarding.
Frank, when you think Fairway, you think fresh. Is that the winning culture you've tried to create?
Penelope Pineapple, what an unbelievable produce performance. How does your team stay so fresh?
Sunkissed Orange. Is it true Fairway has offered the freshest produce in town since 1938?
What can we say? Our produce is so fresh, we're speechless.
Across Iowa, you don't have to look far to find a bank that's got your back. From just around the corner to the next town over, hundreds of neighborhood banks are going the distance to ensure your future looks brighter than ever. By providing jobs, supporting local businesses, strengthening communities, and helping your dreams become reality. Here, the life you build is backed by Iowa banks. See how banks are making a difference near you at iowabankers.com.
Living your best life means something different to everyone, especially when it comes to healthcare. That's why Mercy One offers compassionate, personalized care. We are here for you with one team of experts, providing access to the primary care and highly rated specialty care you need, easily and conveniently. So go ahead, live your best life. We're with you every step of the way. Mercy One, your best life, our one purpose.
The Iowa Farm Bureau is proud to present this amazing state tournament and celebrate the accomplishments of Iowa's student athletes. To the Iowa Farm Bureau, this is more than just a sport. It's hometown pride, it's hopes and dreams, it's our future leaders, it's a reason to do more and be more. And it's that farm strong spirit that can only be found in Iowa. Congratulations to the student athletes and coaches on a successful year, and remember, today's successes are just the beginning of tomorrow's achievements.
Good evening and welcome to Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines, Iowa, the home of the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau. Alongside Laura Leonard, I'm Larry Morgan. In just a moment, we'll have the matchup in the 1A quarterfinal between the Newell-Fonda Mustangs and the Woodbine Tigers right here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company. Well, Laura, when you say Newell-Fonda, you're certainly talking about one of the very successful teams, maybe the most successful team over the last decade in Iowa girls basketball.
10 of the last 11 years they've been here, and usually you see them in the state championship game. A year ago they got knocked off in the semifinals. I think that's made them a little bit hungrier than what they normally are, so you have to watch out if you're Woodbine, but this is a team that is up-tempo, fast-paced, and will get after you defensively.
Woodbine is very excited to be here. They've not been in the state tournament since 1974, but their coach Ryan Kamen says this is as confident a group of players as I've ever worked with.
Yeah, and that's what you need when you're going up against a team like this, and you can see how they got here, how these teams got here, beat Westwood to get here, and Charlie Pryor and Nicole Shear are their leading scorers. And then for Newell-Fonda, they were able to beat IGHSAU, get here, and they have multiple leaders on their team. You can see Mary Walker at 15 points a game, McKenna Sievers with 11, but they lead all classes in assists, so that tells you that everybody on this team shares the basketball.
When we come back, we'll dive deeper into this evening's game with our Seeds for Success, presented by Kruger Seeds. Plus, we'll have your starting lineups as we get set for tip-off. You're watching the 2023 Girls State Basketball Tournament, presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. That old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics, because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
When you choose Delta Dental of Iowa, you set a chain of good in motion, because we invest in your community. So whether you get your plan at work or purchase it through us, you get more than great dental and vision insurance. You make a difference for others. Choose Delta Dental for your smile, for your health, and for your community.
Larry Morgan and Laura Leonard courtside at Wells Fargo Arena for the 1A quarterfinal matchup between the Newell-Fonda Mustangs, the 2nd seed, and the Woodbine Tigers, the 7th seed. Laura, let's get a look at our seeds for success.
Well, let's talk about Newell-Fonda first. What they want to do and what they need to do is turn up the pressure. They will pressure you anyway. That's part of their game plan. They want to turn it up, and they want to set the tone right away. And don't look ahead. Don't look past this Woodbine group knowing that you're going to move on in advance. I know their goal is to get to the championship game. They want to be there. They're a little upset that they got beat out in the semifinals a year ago. So you can't look past this very confident Woodbine team. And then for Woodbine, you know what? Go ahead and use some ball fakes. Get that defense out of position. They are in the passing lanes. They gamble. They anticipate. If you can misdirect them a little bit and get them out of position, you're going to be able to score. And don't play their game. Play your game. Play the game that brought you to this point and got you to Wells Fargo. If you start playing their game, you're going to be in trouble.
For the Mustangs, their 18th visit to state, they have won 4 times under their current coach, Dick Jungers, and if he wins another state championship, he'll be in very select company, one of only 4 coaches to have accomplished more than 4 wins.
And he's done such a great job of just building that program. It's a machine over there, and that's exactly what they do. They just keep bringing in players, and players, they all learn their style early on in their careers.
And the Tigers come in at 23-2, and they say if we have a model for a program, it is Newell-Fonda. We'll take our final break before tip-off, and when we come back, we'll have your team introductions and starting lineups for this tournament matchup. You're watching Girls State Basketball presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network powered by Mid-American Energy.
Obsessively, relentlessly at your service. To me, it means being there 24/7. Rain or shine, during storms, after storms.
Being a first responder to the community, to my customers.
Being there to get the customers back on and to see the smiles on their face.
To provide the kind of reliability that we can hold our heads high about.
And we want to keep our customers safe. Safety's first around here.
And that's rewarding.
Newell-Fonda in the 6th consecutive year of being in the state tournament and 10 of the last 11s. Woodbine, their 4th state tournament, but their first since 1974. So these teams ready to go today.
They are ready to go, and opportunity for Newell-Fonda to try to get themselves back into that championship game, get a rematch with Bishop Garrigan, and Woodbine looking for the big upset here.
Let's go to our public address announcer for the introductions.
Good afternoon, basketball fans. Happy Wednesday, and welcome to today's 2023 Girls State Basketball 1A quarterfinal matchup featuring the visiting team, the Woodbine Tigers, and the home team, the Newell-Fonda Mustangs. Fans, tradition is an important part of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union's storied history. Because our past is an integral part of what we do today, we ask that everyone in attendance please join in a round of applause to show our appreciation to all the women who have participated in high school athletics in Iowa. Once an Iowa girl, always an Iowa girl. Thank you. At this time, the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union and the Iowa Farm Bureau would like to recognize the outstanding sportsmanship shown by Woodbine High School and Newell-Fonda High School. In recognition of the importance of good sportsmanship, each state qualifying school was asked to nominate a spectator who represents their school and community in a sportsmanlike manner. Elise Bolton, IGHSAU staff intern, will present each nominee with a certificate of recognition and a $250 check payable to their school scholarship fund. Please join us in honoring these individuals whose decorum and respect for others serves as a model for all spectators attending interscholastic events. From Woodbine High School, Larry Oliver. And from Newell-Fonda High School, Ron and Marilyn McLaughlin. The Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union promotes good sportsmanship by participants, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants, officials, and spectators in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, sexist, or abusive comments, or intimidating actions directed at officials, participants, coaches, team representatives, or event personnel will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal. We thank you for your cooperation and invite you to just enjoy the game. Fans, it's now time to introduce the players in today's 1A quarterfinal matchup. First of all, here are your non-starters for the Woodbine Tigers. Number 2, Adeline Kanan. Number 13, Bridget Kelly. 21, Addison Murdoch. 22, Taylor Hafer. 23, Katie Pryor. 32, Danielle Steinkuhler. 35, Isabel Crook. 42, Courtney O'Day. And 45, Madison Thomas. Your assistant coaches, Nick Putnam and Taylor Frederick. And now, here are your non-starters for the home team from Newell-Fonda. Number 4, Greta Larson. Number 12, Isabel Bartek. Number 20, Marini Brabeck. Number 24, Anna Mercer. Number 30, Emma Erickson. Number 40, Kinsey Hinders. Number 42, Ava Vi. Number 44, Josie Walsh. Number 50, J.C. Vanderhoff. And number 52, Kiana Brown. Your assistant coaches, Courtney Darrow, Kevin Larson, and Chad Hinders. And now, here are your starters for this 1A quarterfinal. For Woodbine, at guard is senior number 3, Nicole Scherer. For Newell-Fonda at guard, a senior number 10, Mary Walker. At guard for the Tigers, a senior number 11, Addison Erickson. At guard for the Mustangs, a senior number 14, Mia Walker. For Woodbine at guard, a sophomore number 15, Charlie Pryor. At guard for Newell-Fonda, a junior number 22, McKenna Sievers. For the Tigers at guard, a junior number 24, Nicole Hafer. At forward, for the Mustangs, a senior number 32, Lainey Hograve. And at forward for Woodbine, a junior number 44, Amanda Newton. At forward for Newell-Fonda, junior number 34, Kiera Jungers. Head coach for Woodbine, Ryan Kanan. And for Newell-Fonda, Dick Jungers. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you our officials for today's 1A quarterfinal, as assigned by the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. James Crozier, Scott Giles, Marisa Nordskow. All right, who's ready for state tournament basketball?
And before we begin today's game, we'd like to once again thank Iowa Farm Bureau, proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, for their support. The Iowa Farm Bureau has an office located in each county across Iowa, and we'd like to thank the offices listed on your screen for their support of the two teams playing in our game today. Thank you, Iowa Farm Bureau, for supporting the IGHSAU and the Iowa Girl. Ball into the air, and the opening tap is going to be run down and controlled by Newell-Fonda, and they definitely have a height advantage today.
Yeah, they do. Woodbine, their tallest starter, at 5'5", so they're playing at a little bit of a disadvantage, but see if they can make up for it in quickness and being smart about how they play.
Jungers misses off the baseline, and Addison Erickson comes up with a rebound, and it's a lead fee, which is a little long for Charlie Pryor. Tries to run it down and can't, and the turnover gives it back to the Mustangs, winners of 14 in a row.
And the one thing, you cannot get into a running game with Newell-Fonda. They will run you right off the court. That's their game. That's how they play. They play kind of that frenzied pace, and they get their opponent to do the same thing.
Jungers has the ball knocked away from her and out of bounds, and once again, Mustangs will play it in. They average 74 points a game. When you think about high school basketball and you think about 32 minutes, that's a lot of points.
That is a lot of points, and a lot of them are on runouts. They don't shoot a lot of three-pointers, get a lot of shots on the inside off the dribble drive, and off the pressure they turn turnovers into points.
Mary Walker, a pair of twins who start for the Mustangs with the first points in the ball game. And there's a travel, and the second turnover early against the Tigers gives the ball back to the Mustangs.
And the defense just speeds you up. They broke the pressure. They got it into the front court, and they knew that they had the numbers, but then they just got ahead of themselves and traveled and the turnover.
Number one key for Ryan Kanan, the coach at Woodbine, withstand the early pressure, that first wave of pressure. Good defense that time as the shot is blocked as Jungers tried to put it up.
Well, you know, with Newell-Fonda, there's going to be a first wave and a second wave and a third wave. So you're right. If you can get by that first wave, get the jitters out and figure out, okay, we've survived that initial pressure and understand how to break it, then you can get by wave 2, 3, and 4.
Mary Walker with her second basket, and her sister Mia Walker tries to break up the pass, but it's out of bounds, and it goes to the Tigers. Tigers, interestingly enough, lost their last regular season game to Westwood. It was a team that they'd put on the schedule to face some more quality competition, as that shot is put in from the three-point line by Addison Erickson.
Yeah, little did they know they were going to meet up with them for a chance to go to the state tournament, but were able to take care of business in that regional final.
So they lost the regular season game to Westwood, but came back to beat them in the regional final.
Walker along the baseline, just a little ball fake, and was able to get in and knock down that mid-range jumper.
Nice pass inside, and it's a finish by Amanda Newton. Travel called, and the ball will go back to Woodbine. And quickly the Mustangs will make some changes as Isabel Bartek comes on. She's number 12. Number 30 is Emma Erickson.
They will play a lot of players just because of the way and the style that they play. They want to keep fresh players in there all the time.
Number 40, Kinsey Henders, who almost got a steal that time, is the other player who came in off the bench. Here's the drive on the baseline, the shot in and out for Erickson. And coming up with the rebound is Mary Walker. The lead feed inside for Henders. And there's a foul. It's the first foul called in the ball game, and it's whistled against.
I think Mary Walker was in there scrapping for that loose ball.
You are correct, and that's the first foul called. Pressure put on by the Mustangs, who while scoring 74, give up an average of 38. Off the baseline, the shot is blocked by Mary Walker.
You know, I have to say one thing about Woodbine is the fact that they don't look like they're intimidated by this pressure. They are standing straight up to it, pushing and passing the ball through it, dribbling through it. They are finding the gaps and getting the ball into the front court, giving themselves opportunities to score.
They are a high-scoring unit themselves, averaging 63 points a ball game. Here's the clear out for Shear. She kicks in the corner, and the three ball is short by Pryor. The offensive rebound won't go by Shear. And leading the way is Henders for Newell-Fonda. And then on the baseline, the pass goes to Bartek, and Bartek gets fouled. Foul called on Addison Erickson.
And they always have somebody out top, so if they do pull the rebound, they start their run the other way, and they did, but Woodbine doing a nice job of getting back in transition.
Starters, McKenna Sievers and Lainey Hografe back onto the floor. Here's the pass inside to Hografe, who scores.
Good work, just working through the middle on the good baseline out of bounds.
The steal by Hografe, who just scored. Now at the other end, it's McKenna Sievers holding up on the dribble. Lobbing inside, but the pass deflected out of bounds. Almost. It does go out of bounds. Well, once again, Woodbine doing a good job getting down and stopping the basket attempt from the Mustangs.
They're quick, and they're getting back, and they're getting to the spot, and then they're fanning out defensively. So they're blocking it in, they're getting into the paint area, clogging that in the middle, and then fanning out defensively.
Emma Erickson forcing the tie ball, so Woodbine against full court pressure will inbound. And that ball just slipped right out of the hands of Addison Erickson. It looked like they were going to beat the press.
Yeah.
But they couldn't because she couldn't hang on.
And they've found the angles on how to get the ball passed up through this pressure, but you have to step to every pass. And as soon as you put the ball on the floor, you have to have your head on a swivel knowing where the defenders are.
McKenna Sievers knocks down her 53rd three of the year, and she is a 45% shooter behind the three-point line.
Now, 66% of her shots come from beyond the arc.
Second basket for Amanda Newton on a slick pass. Well, Woodbine, you're right. They've withstood that initial thrust from Newell-Fonda. And again, here comes the wave for the Mustangs. Mia Walker back onto the floor. She is a starter. Kiara Jungers, who is a starter, comes back on.
Seems like they get about 3 minutes or so, and then you get the substitutions. They get a little rest, and then they get to come back in after a couple of minutes.
Walker with her first miss of the day. Her sister tries to tip it away, or I should say Bartek tries to tip it back, but it's out of bounds. And so inbounding from the far sideline, Charlie Pryor. She holds the school record for threes at Woodbine, 127, and she is only a sophomore.
Well, that is going to be a record that's going to be, if she continues the way she has started this season, that's going to be a record that's going to be tough to break.
Mustangs guilty of the foul as McKenna Sievers picks up the foul. Looking inbound, Nicole Shear. Shear's somebody to keep an eye on. She is second in the state in steals. The three-pointer will go by Charlie Pryor. And coming out with a quick rebound is McKenna Sievers. You may recall her sister Macy. She was a starter for 3 state championships at Newell-Fonda. She now plays her college basketball at Dordt. Change for the Tigers as Addison Erickson, a starter, who scored an early 3, comes back in. 3:36 left to go in the opening quarter. And Woodbine very impressive and hanging right with a very tough team. There's a shot block. Getting the block was Jungers. Headed the other direction is Walker. She draws the foul.
Just when you think you have that pressure beat and you have a good look, and it was a nice run out, nice dish to get the look at the hoop, but you get the block on the back end, and then the run goes the other way.
Charlie Pryor gets the foul. It's her first. And Mary Walker is going to continue her basketball career and softball career. And DMAC goes to the line.
A lot of these players were on that 21 softball championship team for Newell-Fonda.
Well, we mentioned Dick Jungers with 4 state basketball championships for girls. Also has a state softball championship on his resume.
And his daughter was the pitcher in that ball game. She is quite a pitcher, and they made it to state again last year, got beat out.
Here's a steal, and converting the turnover is McKenna Sievers, her second basket. So suddenly it's an 8-point advantage as those turnovers begin to mount a little bit. Too hard off the glass for Shear, and it's one and done, and the rebound comes to McKenna Sievers.
Shear was very determined to get the ball down against the pressure, and she did. She beat the pressure, didn't get a good angle when she got into the paint.
Mary Walker leaves it short. Scrap for the rebound. The follow shot not there, but a foul called. Blaney Holgrave will go to the line. Holgrave is a 60% free throw shooter. She knocks that one down. Emma Erickson comes back in. Isabel Bartek comes back in. Subs today being brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. Holgrave converting 1 of 2 at the free throw line, giving her team their biggest lead at 16-7. Inside 3 minutes, first quarter. Nice pass on the baseline. Good job by Shear getting the ball inside.
Yeah, that's why she's a school leader in assists, because she has her head up all the time, is quick, has a good understanding of where her teammates are.
Steinkühler on the score. The other end, the ball batted away. Nice defensive job by Katie Pryor, and it'll go to Woodbine.
They're just as scrappy. These two teams are getting after one another, and last time down the floor, you took a look at Shear. She pushed the ball down the floor, and then she was huffing and puffing a little bit.
Understandable. Here's the steal, and a nice pass to Walker from Hinders. And Mary Walker has 8 of the first 18 for Newell-Fonda.
And how unselfish. What a nice pass by Hinders.
And the free ball knocked down by Addison Erickson. Her second 3 of the first quarter. Ryan Kanan standing up off his bench and talking to the officials. And we have a timeout on the court with Newell-Fonda off to an 18-12 advantage. Back with more basketball in a moment. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau and the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Obsessively, relentlessly at your service. To me, it means being there 24/7. Rain or shine, during storms, after storms.
Being a first responder to the community, to my customers.
Being there to get the customers back on and to see the smiles on their face.
To provide the kind of reliability that we can hold our heads high about.
And we want to keep our customers safe. Safety's first around here.
And that's rewarding.
Hey fans, Central College has you covered with career-building programs and with tuition less than $20,000 a year and tons of scholarships. It's the best decision ever. Apply today at central.edu. Woodbine using a timeout a moment ago, down by 6. That three-point basket brings them back to within 9.
And I think right after that ball went through the hoop, Coach Keenan got up and called the timeout. But Newell-Fonda inbounds so quickly that I don't think the whistle was heard. It was loud in here, but they did give them the timeout.
When a team makes changes that quickly, getting your defensive matchup set is really not easy.
No, it's not, and there's a lot of them, a lot of changes and a lot of subs, and that's a good play out of the timeout. They set it up. That was probably one of the very few sets that they run.
Junger's 5'11", and that makes her about 5 inches taller than anybody on the court for the Tigers. Pryor in and out. Pryor the leading scorer for Woodbine, averaging 15 a ball game. Lead feed, nice catch on the baseline, but then a takeaway. Erickson did a good job grabbing the ball, but gave it back. Here's Erickson going in deep. Erickson drawing a foul. Nope, traveling. He traveled.
Yeah, Erickson just got in there, just in between decisions of what to do with the basketball. Crossover, step through, Euro step, and just got the feet shuffled and got the travel call.
Hografe back in for Newell-Fonda. Amanda Newton back in for Woodbine. IMT Insurance bringing you those substitutions. Calling forward in the corner, Sievers. Sievers now works the other side of the floor. Nice effort inside to get the ball to Hografe. Hografe tries to move.
We're going to call a tie ball, a held ball down there as Hografe brought the ball down. And you know what happens when you have little guards around you. They're going to reach in and try to tie you up, and that's exactly what happened.
Again, their tallest starter, 5'5". Hografe 5'10", a mistake that she probably won't make again.
Hinders is going to pick up a foul on that inbounds, pushing off. They tried to lob it inside to Hinders, and she pushed off and got caught.
Third first quarter foul called against the Mustangs. Addison Erickson finds Newton. Pryor still trying to get on track here in this first quarter. Hafer fires for the first time, and Nicole Hafer hits her 19th three of the year. What quick transition for the Mustangs, and that results in a foul as Woodbine trying to get back to play defense, and instead the foul is whistled.
No time to celebrate after you score a bucket. You have to turn and find somebody and match up with them.
Hafer got the foul. That will be her first.
Now we have a conversation with the officials in the scorers table, and I'm not quite sure what the conversation is about.
30.2 seconds remain in the first quarter. Newell-Fonda jumped to a 4-0 lead. They have not looked back. At one point led by 9, they now lead by 5. Scott Giles at the scorers table talking things over, working today with James Crozier and Marissa Nordchow.
I'm wondering if it has something to do with the held ball and the arrow where it should have been, where it got turned to.
You're right, it was Newell-Fonda on the last tie ball. I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm agreeing with you.
I think that's what the discussion. Now they're going to bring the third official in and see if they can figure that out, because that's the only other held ball that we've had was down there.
Right, you're right. So this is a good time for you to make your pitch about more people getting into high school officiating, including women.
Absolutely. We need more women in this game officiating. We need former athletes to a way to stay in the game, get certified, and be able to still have a part in high school basketball. And I know the Girls Athletic Union is really putting on a good push to get new young officials out there. We need to build up those ranks again, and it's a fun way not only to stay involved, but get some exercise and maybe even get to Wells Fargo and be a part of the state tournament.
And it is very valuable as Isabel Bartek cuts through the defense to score.
And as we look at, I'm looking across, you can see the arrow. They did switch the arrow.
Laura Leonard does not miss a thing.
Oh, believe me.
Hafer misses, but the follow shot is there. Newton with 6 first quarter points. The shot almost in by Sievers, but not quite. And at the end of a quarter, it's Newell-Fonda 22 and Woodbine 17. More basketball coming up. Back with the second quarter in a moment as you are watching the Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. That old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
Central College has you covered with career building programs, and with tuition less than $20,000 a year and tons of scholarship, it's the best decision ever. Apply today at central.edu. Pryor looking for her first basket of the ballgame. It is in and out for the leading scorer for the Woodbine Tigers.
You know, one of the things that Shear does so well is gets that dribble penetration and kick out to the three-point shooters, and that's one of the things that Woodbine is going to have to do. They need to knock down some of those perimeter shots.
Garrett Jungers with the free throw line jumper to score. Coming the other direction is Newton. She leaves it out for the left-hander Shear, who misfires on the three, and McKenna Sievers there for yet another rebound. And the fast break results in another pair for the Mustangs.
You know, Walker just did not hesitate at all. Took it right at the defense and knocks down that little floater.
Hafer tries to get the ball inside. Again, the long arms of Newell-Fonda result in a turnover for Woodbine. But they turn it right back over as Addison Erickson picks it up. Here's Pryor driving baseline, shovels a pass inside, looking for Newton, but it's intercepted. Walker to the baseline to score.
Boy, Walker is so good at avoiding the contact when she takes the ball inside.
Walker now with a dozen points, and her ball club is up by 11, which is their biggest lead of the ball game.
Newell-Fonda is shooting 61% so far here early in the second quarter, and have done a good job of turning over Woodbine. They have 9 turnovers. Newell-Fonda has 6 of their own.
Mary Walker gets her second foul. Emma Erickson, number 30, comes in for the Newton-Fonda Mustangs, the second-seeded team in 1A quarterfinals. Off the baseline, the shot is long by Hafer. The offensive rebound grabbed by Woodbine. Here's Shear trying to drive, and on the way in, she draws a foul.
Bartek just reaching in as Shear makes the move. Make and create that dribble penetration, draw that defense so she can dish.
Defending along the baseline is Bartek as the ball comes into Charlie Pryor. Pryor hands to Shear. Shear has it almost stripped from her by Bartek.
You really have to protect the dribble against this team because their hands are so active.
Erickson can't score on the running right-hander, and it is Bartek, who brings it up quickly for Newell-Fonda. Calling for it from outside is Erickson. And inside, there's contact and a foul. And they ruled it as an offensive foul.
That might be on Kiera Jungers.
I believe it is, and that is her first foul. And it was on Jungers. Addison Erickson, front court, trying to work against Mia Walker. Pryor trying to hit Newton, but again, an interception of the passing lanes. These Mustangs jump the passing lanes consistently and get a lot of turnovers.
Yeah, you know, and one of the things that you need to do is find a spot. Nice shot from the perimeter by Erickson. That was a high arching, nothing but net shot.
And suddenly the lead has grown to 14 points for Newell-Fonda.
But against this defense, and you're right, they're jumping the passing lanes, they're anticipating. Find a spot, kind of hunker down and hold your ground. You can't float away from the pass. You've got to stay right there. Step to it until you get the ball in your hands.
Nicole Shear out of the backcourt. Averages almost 9 points a ball game. Has had 24 threes this year. Shot is in and out, and Charlie Pryor, the leading scorer for the Tigers, having a tough start.
She is, and those shots are just rimming. They're rounding the rim and popping out. And that, she's right there. The spin has just not been kind to her, and eventually those will fall for her.
Hafer picks up her second foul for Woodbine. And for the Tigers, Katie Pryor comes back in. She is the cousin of the starter, Charlie Pryor. There are 6 players on this roster that are related either as cousins or sisters. So if it looks like they played together for a long time, it's because they have.
They have, not only in this kind of setting in high school and other, but probably in the backyard, in the driveway as well.
McKenna Severs with her second three, and it's a 34-17 lead for Newell-Fonda as they've doubled up on the Woodbine Tigers. Tigers champions of the Rolling Valley Conference. Pryor still looking for a first basket. There it is.
Eventually it was going to fall. She's a good enough three-point shooter that those will fall. She knew she was on the mark, and then finally just relaxed, settled in, and knocked one in.
Bartek tries to answer with the three in camp. It's an offensive rebound, and it's poked out of bounds. And once again, the Mustangs will inbound. That pressure defense for Newell-Fonda gets to everybody sooner or later.
It just wears you down, and and we talked about it, it comes in waves, but it's not always the same player. It's waves of players off the bench, and so you might be matching up with a different face in front of you every time down the floor, and they just know how to play it. That's what's taught at the younger levels, and as they come up and get into the high school levels, they just know exactly what to do. There's not a whole lot of teaching that has to happen for these players to fit right into the system.
Hograve scoring on the out-of-bounds play. Offensive rebound by Newton, follows her own shot, and this will get her to the free throw line. Mia Walker with her first foul. Amanda Newton, who holds the all-school for girls weight room records. They say she really loves to hit the weight room. She's very strong, and she's got a 7-point ball game underway.
You know, and you do have to be strong. If she's playing the position, she's playing on the interior, and she's going to match up against players that are taller than she is, so she needs to be stronger. And when you're lifting weights, you can gain that agility as well and get good footwork so you can get around some of those bigger players that you're going to match up with.
And when you're 5'5", you need that extra strength.
Yes.
Nicole Shear on the rebound. Shear into the offensive end. He has not scored today, and she averages about 9 points a ball game. So two big of the Tigers scorers still looking for their first points, except Pryor got hers a moment ago. Misfires, though, on that one. The ball goes out of bounds, and it will go to Newell-Fonda. Last year, the Mustangs 24-2 lost to MMCRU in the semifinals. Their only 2 losses this year have been to the top 3A seed, Esterville Lincoln Central.
Yeah, they schedule tough and they test themselves, and more often than not, they come into the state tournament with maybe 1 loss, maybe 2 losses.
Bartek on the miss, and Shearer brings it up for Woodbine with just under 3 minutes to go in the first half. The 3 ball won't go, and again, a shot that was pretty close just didn't go. Not a bad shot for Shearer, and it doesn't fall.
Well, good weak side rebound, and wanted to get it up quick before the defense could collapse down on her.
Sievers with the basket. She's in double figures with 10, and I think what you just said a moment ago is so true. Newell-Fonda makes you hurry up so you rush your shots, and that's never good.
And that's exactly what it is. You want to get the shot off quickly before the defense is right there in your face.
Pryor with the miss. She gets the ball back.
And you can see that's a good, you're catching the ball at an angle where you can't do anything. You've got to right yourself. And they just make you protect the ball, and you can't get yourself in that good triple threat position to do anything against the defense.
In the middle, it is Jungers, I should say. Look how move the ball around so effectively against that zone. And popping it in from the wing is Maya Walker. That's her second basket. It's her first 3 today.
And that was a patient set for them. Usually they're outrunning, and Walker just hung back. And just when you think you have an opening, here comes somebody flying in, the last one down the floor, trailing the play.
Jungers called for it, and Jungers buries it. And at this point, Ryan Kanan said, we got to stop this rally, this momentum that Newell-Fonda's got, so we're going to use a timeout. Timeout with 1:15 left to play in the first half. We'll be right back with more basketball as you're watching the Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Obsessively, relentlessly at your service. To me, it means being there 24/7, rain or shine, during storms, after storms.
Being a first responder to the community, to my customers.
Being there to get the customers back on and to see the smiles on their face.
To provide the kind of reliability that we can hold our heads high about.
And we want to keep our customers safe. Safety's first around here.
And that's rewarding.
To Wells Fargo Arena. Right now in the quarter, Newell-Fonda outscoring Woodbine 19-4.
Yeah, and that's how quickly they can put up points. And it's all because of this pressure. And now they're knocking down threes, so that just adds to it. The balance of the run-out game, the defense turning into offense, and then the three-pointers. And that's a good answer out of the timeout by Erickson.
Erickson has got all 3 three-pointers for Woodbine. Final minute, first half. That's just the 7th point scored by Woodbine here in the quarter, but a quick answer comes from Newell-Fonda, as it is Kiara Jungers, who's such an outstanding scorer, averaging 12 points a ball game, leads the team in rebounding with 6. And she is already off to a 9-point performance.
Well, goes to one side of the floor, hits it from the corner, just floats over to the other side of the floor and knocks one down from the opposite corner.
Woodbine playing for the last shot now as the first half clock winds down. They clear for Shear. Almost a takeaway that time. Battling for it and getting the takeaway is Mia Walker. From the baseline, that shot is not good as the half comes to a close. It's a big second quarter for the second seed Newell-Fonda Mustangs, and they will take a 47-24 lead to the locker room at halftime. Back with more basketball in a moment as you're watching the Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament, presented by Iowa Farm Bureau and the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
obsessively, relentlessly at your service. To me, it means being there 24/7, rain or shine, during storms, after storms.
Being a first responder to the community, to my customers.
Being there to get the customers back on and to see the smiles on their face.
To provide the kind of reliability that we can hold our heads high about.
And we want to keep our customers safe. Safety's first around here.
And that's rewarding.
Slade's the place for you!
The Iowa Farm Bureau is proud to present this amazing state tournament and celebrate the accomplishments of Iowa's student athletes. To the Iowa Farm Bureau, this is more than just a sport. It's hometown pride, it's hopes and dreams, it's our future leaders, it's a reason to do more and be more. And it's that farm strong spirit that can only be found in Iowa. Congratulations to the student athletes and coaches on a successful year, and remember, today's successes are just the beginning of tomorrow's achievements.
Woodbine pretty even for a quarter with Newell-Fonda, and at the end of a quarter, a 5-point ball game. But it doesn't take long for that Newell-Fonda pressure to get to you, and it got to Woodbine in the second quarter.
Yeah, it did, and just taking a quick look, 13 turnovers, 22 points scored off of those turnovers, and that's how Newell-Fonda is set up. That's their game plan. That's what they do. That's their style. It's been their style for 10 years. Woodbine's going to have to find a way to break the pressure and then get some three-point shots to fall.
So at halftime, it is Newell-Fonda 47 and Woodbine 24. Now we'd like to take a moment to once again thank our title sponsor, Iowa Farm Bureau, for their support of the state basketball tournament. Earlier this week, Aaron Kirtley of the IGHSAU had the opportunity to speak with Iowa Farm Bureau President Brent Johnson to learn more about Iowa Farm Bureau's support of the IGHSAU and student athletes across the state.
Thanks for joining us for the 2023 Girls State Basketball Tournament. I'm Aaron Kirtley with the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. We hope you're enjoying all the competitive play that you're seeing here today. We're so thankful for those who support us and help us put on such great events, none of which are more important than our longtime partner, Iowa Farm Bureau, our proud title sponsor. Here with me today is Brent Johnson, President of the Iowa Farm Bureau. Thanks for joining us, Brent.
Thanks.
So we want to tell the viewers about the Iowa Farm Bureau and the support that you provide the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Why does the Iowa Farm Bureau invest in supporting the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union in all of our tournament games?
The Iowa Farm Bureau has been the title sponsor for the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union for 18 years. We're thrilled to once again be a part of the state girls basketball tournament. But to us, it's so much more than just a basketball tournament. The athletes competing here today are among the nation's best and brightest student athletes who have a great work ethic and understand what it means to work as a team. We share the same values. Through hard work, our farmers are among the nation's best, not only in corn, hog, egg, and ethanol production, but also lead the nation in conservation. That's a lot to celebrate. And our partnership with the Girls Union gives us the opportunity to honor both.
So your support for youth and education goes beyond the IGHSAU. What other support does Iowa Farm Bureau provide Iowa's youth?
Farm Bureau celebrates Iowa's youth in many different ways. Number one, Iowa Farm Bureau, we give our students across the state nearly $500,000 in scholarships every single year. And through our teacher supplement program, we've given teachers over $450,000 in supplies and money so that they can properly have their classrooms put together for their students. In conjunction with the Girls Union and the Boys Athletic Association, we're proud to sponsor the concussion insurance. You know, there's only 7 states that even offer that. And for the 4th year running, we provide that for those student athletes at no cost to their families so that they continue to compete at a high level. And most recently, we're really excited to announce that we've given the FFA Foundation $1 million so that they can support their local chapters and ag education across this entire state so that they know what the future of agriculture means to everyday Iowans.
The student athletes participating this year are taking home some pretty neat souvenirs from this tournament. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one of our favorite programs is actually the Signature Ball program. And it's a great opportunity that every student competing here today gets to have one of those signature balls so that they can have their teammates, their coaches, and mentors sign this ball so that they can carry this memory forward for them long into the future.
Well, thanks again to our proud title sponsor, Farm Bureau, and for Brent for being with us today.
Yep.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics. Because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
When you choose Delta Dental of Iowa, you set a chain of good in motion. Because we invest in your community. So whether you get your plan at work or purchase it through us, you get more than great dental and vision insurance. You make a difference for others. Choose Delta Dental for your smile, for your health, and for your community.
All right, Frank, the store is yours. See you Monday.
What do you think he does in there? Think it's risky? I forgot my phone. And now you know what happens on Sundays.
Fans, official state tournament merchandise now available online. Time to get your smartphones out. Just scan the QR code on your screen now or visit IGHSAU.org to browse and customize your merchandise to match styles. So, we take a look at the numbers in the first half, and obviously they're going to be overwhelming in favor of the Mustangs.
And you can see those shooting percentages way up there. A lot of those are points in the paint. They had 22 points in the paint and offensive rebounds. Look at what Woodbine's done, though. They've gone to the offensive glass, given themselves some opportunities, just have not been able to convert on it. And those 13 turnovers are going to be, I mean, they're just killer for a team, especially against a team like Newell-Fonda.
And maybe the line of the first half belongs to McKenna Sievers. 10 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what she's done all season long, averages 11 points a game, a little over 7 assists a game, 3.5 steals a game. I mean, that's her game. That's what she does. She distributes the basketball, scores when she needs to, plays defense, gets steals, helps her team get set up in offense when they've run a few sets.
Garrett Jungers also with 10 points for Newell-Fonda, and leading the way thus far for Woodbine with 9 points is Addison Erickson, but Nicole Scheer and Charlie Pryor are combined 1 for 13 together, and the key for Woodbine getting back in the ballgame is getting them going offensively.
Yeah, and they did get Pryor some shots, and so they need to get her a few more, and hopefully you think, okay, after halftime, maybe calm down a little bit, jitters have gone away, you can get some good shots, get loose here in the warm-ups, and start getting them some shots. And Shear's doing a great job of handling that pressure. She's been navigating through that full court pressure with the dribble.
And so in halftime, it is Newell-Fonda trying to advance to the semifinals, a place they've been many times before, but last year losing in the semifinals.
Yeah, and that I know did not set well with them. They expect to be in that championship game every year, and so it was a surprise for them not to be playing for the title.
We'll be right back with the second half. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament, presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Obsessively, relentlessly at your service. To me, it means being there 24/7, rain or shine, during storms, after storms.
Being a first responder to the community, to my customers.
Being there to get the customers back on and to see the smiles on their face.
To provide the kind of reliability that we can hold our heads high about.
And we want to keep our customers safe. Safety's first around here.
And that's rewarding.
Slade's the place for you!
Living your best life means something different to everyone, especially when it comes to healthcare. That's why Mercy One offers compassionate, personalized care. We are here for you with one team of experts, providing access to the primary care and highly rated specialty care you need, easily and conveniently. So go ahead, live your best life. We're with you every step of the way. Mercy One, your best life, our one purpose.
Newell-Fonda enjoying a 47-24 lead over Woodbine in this 1A quarterfinal. Earlier today, first game, defending champ Bishop Garrigan 67 over Martinsdale St. Mary's 44, and Audie Crooks with a 1A record performance in that game.
Yeah, she not only broke the single game scoring record, but she became the all-time scorer for a career at the state high school basketball tournament. So she has set that record with one more, possibly two more to play. And I've watched her since she was a freshman, and I have watched the improvement as she has gone through freshman to senior year. And the one thing that I always have said is she has probably got the best hands that I have ever seen of an interior post player.
Bill Finley getting a good one at Iowa State.
Absolutely.
Her 42 points broke the 1A single-game state tournament scoring record held by Marissa Schroeder, who had 38 for Marquette Catholic back in 2017. The other game, Remsen St. Mary's making their first state tournament appearance, advanced with a 54-41 win over West Fork.
And they're going to have a tall task in the semifinals going up against Bishop Garrigan.
And coming up for the winner of this ball game, the number 3 seed North Lynn and the number 6 seed Winfield Mount Union. Taking it to the basket, and Mary Walker with 12 points leading the way in the first half. And that shot put down by Kiara Juergens, and she's got a dozen points.
Good interior pass, and when they're not running, they are just so precision with their passing and running the emotion offense.
And the three may be a momentum maker, knocked down by Nicole Hafer.
Those are the shots that they're going to need to climb back into this ball game.
Hafer and her sister on the team that at the state tournament. Their dad played in the boys' state tournament back in the mid-'90s. And from the corner, Mary Walker having a good day.
Boy, good-looking shot from the corner for Walker. Tried to penetrate, kicked it back out, relocated, and they got her the ball back.
Her first three and her 15th point this afternoon. She got the first two for the Mustangs and hasn't looked back. On the post, the feed comes to Amanda Newton, and it is blocked by Hograce. And it's taken back by Newton.
And Newton did the smart thing, give it up, find your guard to get it into the front court.
Pryor drills the three. We mentioned in the first half, only a sophomore already the all-time leading three-point maker in Woodbine history.
You know, shooters shoot, and she did not have a good first half, and she is going to be called upon here to see if she can get some three-pointers to fall for her.
Nice dish that time from Sievers to Jungers. Jungers with 14. Ball knocked away, but it's scooped up by Addison Erickson. Pryor, too tall on the baseline on the pass for Amanda Newton. And so here we are, just 2 minutes into the third quarter, and here come the subs for Newell-Fonda.
Yeah, it seems right about that mark is when they go to the bench and bring that next wave of defenders in.
Today's substitutions brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at IMTINS.com. Well, there's a foul as trying to poke the ball away was Nicole Shear, and she fouls Mary Walker. Walker headed for DMAC next season to play softball and basketball, and her sister Mia is going to go there and join her on the softball team. Inbound speed tipped away, picked up by Shear. And then Shear's called for a push.
Jungers was right there on her hip, and Shear just leaned in enough. Jungers went to the ground, and the official called her the offensive foul.
Bartek, the 5'6" junior, inbounding. This is Walker, who's having a really big ball game today for Newell-Fonda. She averages 15. She's at 15 already. Off balance shot won't go by Bartek, but the follow is put through by Erickson.
Erickson's going to pick up the foul. Tried to sneak in from behind to get a steal, but in that play prior to that, Erickson kind of helped clear a path down the middle of the lane to get it open, and the shot didn't go, but she was in perfect position to get the offensive rebound and putback.
As aggressive as Dick Jungers' defense is, I bet he doesn't mind a gamble now and then.
No, and I think that he preaches that. He said, go ahead. You know, they've got enough players that they can bring them in, so if you do pick up a foul, we've got somebody right behind you that we can bring in and give you a break.
Walker takes it from Pryor to score her 17th point. The three ball knocked down by Hafer, and that is her second three of the quarter. So far, 3 baskets for Woodbine, all threes.
Well, that's what they're going to have to do. They've got to go to that perimeter game.
Somehow that pass went inside. I don't know how it got to the hands of Hinders, because there were 3 sets of arms that had to go through, but it did, and then Hinders fighting for the offensive rebound. Lady Hograith back onto the court for the Mustangs. Mary Walker will leave. Kiera Jungers will also check out. Kinsey Hinders onto the floor. Here's Shear trying to penetrate. Pass inside, and nice pass indeed to Amanda Newton.
The entire time Shear had her eyes up, saw what the defense was doing. Nice crossover dribble to get herself clear.
It's a big hill for Woodbine to climb, but they're going pace to pace with Newell-Fonda here in the third quarter.
They're playing up-tempo, and even from the opening tip, they have not backed down to Newell-Fonda. They have not been intimidated by this defense that Newell-Fonda plays so well and so intensely.
So it's still the same margin of halftime, 23, but the thing is, these teams have traded baskets to start the third quarter. Now, obviously, not enough for Woodbine to get back in it, but possibility of trying to get Newell-Fonda into a little bit of a funk and maybe take advantage of it.
Any little bit helps. If you can start chipping away at it and get it close by the time the fourth quarter rolls around, you've given yourself a chance.
Well, Hafer's feeling it, isn't she?
She's given her team a chance. They've been able to find her, and she is on fire here in the third quarter.
Hafer has 3 threes in the quarter, 4 threes in the game. Down the lane to score is Kinsey Hinders, and she gets fouled and will have a chance at an and one.
Just powered that up off the dribble drive. She knew she was going to get fouled as she went in, protected that ball, and went up strong.
Hinders, whose dad, Chad, is one of the assistant coaches for Dick Jungers. And by the way, his other assistant coach, Kevin Larson, won the Assistant Coach of the Year honor from the Iowa Girls Coaches Association. Congratulations to longtime assistant Kevin Larson, part of this very successful Newell-Fonda program. Here's a steal by Hinders and a score. Now, they didn't see her playing center field, did they?
They didn't, and you have to, if you're going to throw over the top of it, you have to come to that ball because there's a lot of air underneath it, and you know that this defense has their eyes on it, so they're going to jump into the passing lane. As your ball is coming to you, you have to go and meet it.
It's exactly what Ryan Kanan told his team. He said, cut to the ball, not through the ball.
You know, I say this, I think every year that we do a game with Newell-Fonda, one of the things that we were taught when I played at Drake and we'd go up against a pressure team, our coach told us is you can't hear them, you can't see them, but they're always there.
Oh, that's a great point.
You have to be aware of where the defense is. Just know they're there.
Boy, that is so true. Nice post feed to Newton. Newton having a good ball game, right at her average of 11 points. Into the lane, Mary Walker kicks it for Sievers. Trying to drive the baseline is Hograve, and Hograve gets fouled.
They had Hograve initially, didn't dump the ball inside to her, just kept moving the ball around.
Newton gets her first foul. The inbounds lob comes to Walker behind a double screen, and she takes advantage of it. Boy, they really run their out-of-bounds plays well, don't they?
How often do you think they've practiced that one? They just packed it in. They set up the screen across the lane, and Walker was able to come around, caught it in the air, got her feet underneath her, and knocked it down.
It's at least 3 successful out-of-bounds plays that I recall. There probably are more.
Well, I'm sure Coach Jungers has a complete playbook of out-of-bounds plays.
That lob is too tall for DJ Steinkühler, and the turnover once again gives it to the Mustangs. Well, as is often the story when you play Newell-Fonda, turnover's the big story of the ball game.
Yeah, it's just going to, every game it's going to be turnovers, and if you can keep it to a minimum, not give up and give them extra opportunities, you're going to be in the ball game with them.
Steinkühler with the block. Erickson hands it off. Scheer looking inside, time being counted off against her, so she gets rid of it. Down the lane comes Charlie Pryor, draws the foul, and scores the bucket.
She kind of landed awkwardly as she hit that little runner.
And gets up pretty slowly. Mia Walker with her second foul. Hograve out for Newell-Fonda. Sievers is back in. And Woodbine's going to use a timeout here with 2:10 to go in the third quarter. And Newell-Fonda leading at 64-42. Back with more in a moment. You're watching the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Obsessively, relentlessly at your service. To me, it means being there 24/7. Rain or shine, during storms, after storms.
Being a first responder to the community, to my customers.
Being there to get the customers back on and to see the smiles on their face.
To provide the kind of reliability that we can hold our heads high about.
And we want to keep our customers safe. Safety's first around here.
And that's rewarding.
With Laura Leonard, Larry Morgan in this 1A quarterfinal matchup between Newell-Fonda and Woodbine. Newell-Fonda jumped to an early lead at 4-0. They've never looked back.
They haven't, and that's what they do. They jump on you quickly. They try to build a lead right away, and then they turn the pressure up even more to see if they can get a big distance between them and their opponent.
Newell-Fonda state champions in 2015, 19, 20, and 21. Got beat in the semifinals last year, and if Dick Jungers' team wins in this state tournament, he will become only the 4th coach to have won 5 or more state titles. Charlie Pryor to the line. She completes the three-point play. She's got 9 points, and her team back to within 21. Exactly 2 minutes left to play in the third quarter.
And they have to feel pretty good about their effort here in the third quarter. I mean, they're hanging with Newell-Fonda.
Hinders with the basket and an and one coming up.
And Hinders having quite a third quarter here. She's been doing a good job being active down low and calling for the basketball.
Nicole Hafer gets the foul. That'll be her third. You know, you talk about a team just kind of reloading every year. You look at Hinders is only a sophomore. Junger's just a junior. She'll be back next year. McKenna Seaver's only a junior. Now the Walker twins graduate. But still, nice base coming back.
Really good base to work with and build around. And as I said, every one of those young women over there on that Newell-Fonda bench, they know the plays. They know what they need to do defensively. They know the drill. I mean, they know what's expected of them coming up through this program.
And Woodbine, just 2 senior starters, so they've got 3 starters who will return next season. They just won their first conference title since 1983, so it's been a drought for Woodbine girls basketball, but they are coming back. Mary Walker with a 3. That's her second 3, her 22nd point. She has 10 in this third quarter.
And she's just got a really nice looking shot. She can knock it down from all over the court, but she can also put it on the floor and get through the defense and get to the rim.
Jungers on the rebound. The pass comes inside, and it's scored by Jungers once again. 16 points for the coach's daughter.
Jungers doing a great job of running the floor and getting to the spot.
Ball comes outside to Erickson. Hafer's been the hottest player thus far for Woodbine in this third quarter. Scheer looking for her, and the shot in and out. That would have been her 4th 3 of the quarter had that one gone down. Interception by Addison Erickson. Erickson shovels it in the corner for Charlie Pryor for 3.
Wow, Charlie Pryor, that was a high arching shot, and that barely rippled the net.
Pryor having a big third quarter. Turnaround off the baseline goes down by Kiara Jungers. Quite a player, isn't she?
She really is, and you can just see the way that she shoots the ball, and when she gets the ball in the post, she's worked on all those moves for a long, long time to perfect them.
Pass right in the hands of Steinkühler, who, with her expression, you can say she doesn't understand how that one slipped away.
Yeah, knew that she let one go there.
And Erickson back in for Newell-Fonda as this third quarter draws to a close. Newell-Fonda trying to go to 23-2 on the season. Bartek finds Erickson. And it does not go, and it does go, I should say. And it's a 74-46 lead for Newell-Fonda after 3 quarters of play. We'll be right back with the fourth quarter. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Across Iowa, you don't have to look far to find a bank that's got your back. From just around the corner to the next town over, hundreds of neighborhood banks are going the distance to ensure your future looks brighter than ever. By providing jobs, supporting local businesses, strengthening communities, and helping your dreams become reality. Here, the life you build is backed by Iowa banks. See how banks are making a difference near you at iowabankers.com.
The Iowa Bankers Association is the proud sponsor of the Parade of Champions and the Iowa Student Achievement Award. We go to the fourth quarter with Newell-Fonda, the second seed, leading the seventh seed, Woodbine, 74-46. But a more even third quarter. Newell-Fonda outscoring Woodbine by only 5, 27-22.
Yeah, and as I said, Woodbine has to feel pretty good about the way they came out of the locker room and really competed in that third quarter.
Shot won't go by Mia Walker. And coming up with it is Addison Erickson, and she gets called for the double dribble.
Newell-Fonda, just even if they turn it over, they get back in transition so quickly.
Nicole Hafer has hit 4 threes in this ball game, back in for Woodbine. Substitutions today brought to you by IMT Insurance. Emma Erickson handling the ball outside, and this is Mia Walker. Inside, the shot won't go, and coming up with a rebound, the Tigers. Just their fourth state tournament, their first since 1974. So again, here's a team that's not won a conference title since '83. But Ryan came and has a vision. He was coaching in Atlantic and knew that his alma mater needed a boys and a girls coach. Well, it turned out they had a candidate for the boys coach. He said, I'll take the girls job. And he's been there 10 years now, won 114 ball games.
Done a good job of building up the program. And, you know, when these coaches take over these programs that have been down for a long time, you have to go in and you have to start at the lower levels and build that grassroots programs, get those younger kids playing, get them interested in playing basketball and representing their hometown and their school again, and winning helps. And if you win ball games, which he has been able to do, that builds the confidence, builds the interest, and a lot of the younger players want to go up through the ranks and be a part of the team.
Erickson with the basket on the assist from Bartek. 5 different faces come into the ball game with the next dead ball for Newell-Fonda. As Hafer puts down the shot, she's got 14 points in the ball game. 6.5 left to play. The 3 ball won't go by Mia Walker. It goes out of bounds, and it will belong to Woodbine. And here come the Shock Troops. Greta Larson makes her first appearance in the ball game. Mary Walker comes back in. Garrett Jungers comes back onto the court. Anna Mercer's there for the Mustangs. And also there is McKenna Sievers.
That just shows you how deep that they can go. And they don't change any of the style of play at all.
The left-hander won't go for Scheer. And coming up with Sievers. Again, we talked about it earlier. Her sister Macy started for 3 state championships in her career. Sievers hopes to add to the family legend.
I was going to say a lot of talent in that family and hoping to bring home another state title.
Scheer, who is second in the state in steals, comes up with another steal. Pryor drives and is then knocked away from her by Jungers. Jungers at 5'11", a junior, averages 12 points, has 18 in this one, and no doubt a year from now, a lot of colleges will be interested in her. They probably already are.
Oh, you have to believe that schools are already looking at a lot of these players on the floor.
Mary Walker with a 22-point effort brings it ahead for Newell-Fonda. Sievers on the high post to Jungers. Jungers hands back to Sievers. Nice pass inside, and going to the free throw line will be Anna Mercer.
An opportunity for Coach Jungers to get some of these other players in, get them some time on the court, get them the experience that you want them to have as they go through their career.
Mercer, a 5'10 sophomore. Her 12th visit at the line. There's Dick Jungers, and next to him, the aforementioned Kevin Larson, the assistant coach of the year. Shot won't go. Walker almost with a follow. The ball comes back out to Jungers, gets it inside, and that shot won't go by Mercer, and then it's put down.
Boy, unselfish play, nice little tip pass over to Mercer. She couldn't convert, but Walker was able to get the putback.
That shot won't go by Erickson. So it's a 24-point day right now for Mary Walker. She scored the first 2 baskets in the ballgame and just has kept it going. Shear runs down the rebound. Has it poked away from behind by Sievers. Sievers leading the field, and she will score.
It was all Sievers just hanging around, trailing everybody down the floor, snuck in from behind and poked it away.
And Woodbine coach Ryan Kamen will use a timeout. 4.5 left to play, and his ball club trailing Newell-Fonda 81-48. And we'll be back with more in a moment as you're watching the Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Obsessively, relentlessly at your service. To me, it means being there 24/7, rain or shine, during storms, after storms.
Being a first responder to the community, to my customers.
Being there to get the customers back on and to see the smiles on their face.
To provide the kind of reliability that we can hold our heads high about.
And we want to keep our customers safe. Safety's first around here.
And that's rewarding.
Newell-Fonda headed back to the semifinals where they will take on the winner of the game coming up between North Lynn, making their 5th consecutive state tournament appearance, and Winfield Mount Union, and they've not been in the state tournament since 1998.
I told my friend Jan Kreger I'd give him a shout out for Winfield Mount Union, as the Kreger family had a lot of girls go through that program, and I texted her this morning and I said, I know you're probably aware that Winfield Mount Union is in the state tournament. And she texted back, she goes, I'm well aware. Well aware. So still following her alma mater.
And of course, Joanna Settles works on our television crew, and she is the wife of Jess Settles, the greatest men's basketball player in Winfield Mount Union history.
And nephew of Jan Kreger.
Oh, I'm not sure I knew that.
Oh, you didn't?
That's some basketball family right there.
It's a huge basketball family. Do we dare say that George Kittle is the son of Jan Kreger?
I thought you might bring that up.
Might drop that in a little bit.
He's had a pretty good career, has he not?
He's had an okay career.
Okay, yeah. Mia Walker stopped on the baseline. The ball poked out of bounds, and it will go to Woodbine. Well, the community from Woodbine really very excited about this team reaching the state tournament for the first time since '74. On Tuesday night, they had a huge rally in the gym. The community showed up, brought back players from past teams, from past state tournament teams, those teams back in the 80s, the boys team back in the 90s. So really proud of the squad from Woodbine.
You know, it's the community pride and things that you do, parades and rallies, and brings everybody together, and being able to come down to the state tournament and represent your hometown. It's what this is all about. This is why these players play.
Shear gives it up. Pryor fires a 3.
We're getting a good idea of why Pryor is the school's leading three-point shooter. She's got great form and has that nice high arc.
Only a junior. You know, that reminds me of a recent shoot-around for a college basketball team I attended, and the coaches recruited well in the state of Iowa, though they're from out of state, and she kind of turned away from her team, and she said, you know why I recruit Iowa girls? Why, Coach? Because they can shoot.
You know what? The Iowa girl has always been able to shoot. From days of 6-on-6 up until now, all the Iowa girls have been very, very good shooters. And I don't know if that's just the work ethic, if they work hard on it, what it is, the coaching, but that coach is what she said is very true, because the Iowa girl can shoot the basketball.
Of course, you and I spend a lot of time covering the Missouri Valley Conference, and we see a lot of Iowa players on teams who are not Drake and UNI.
Yeah, and you know, we sit there and we wish that all of the Iowa-grown girls basketball players would stay in state, and so they could stick around so we could watch them and enjoy watching them play. But You know what? A lot of opportunities. A young lady that was on the telecast here today, Ellie Ruffridge, continued her career at Missouri State, had a great career down there, went to the NCAA tournament several times. And so it's just fun to be able to see the players from the state of Iowa go on and play major college basketball.
J.C. Vanderhoff getting her first shot today for the Mustangs. Pryor with a penetration. Pryor will get to the free throw line. When you look at Woodbine, they are very proud of their team. And Nicole Shear is having a tough day today, but when she graduates, they are losing a student who not only was a great basketball player, but she's a student body president. She's had the lead in every musical. I mean, she's just one of those players that a coach and a community has to be very proud of. That's true of everybody for Woodbine, but have to certainly single out Nicole Shear for what she's done in her high school career.
And you wonder how she manages the time to do all that stuff, and she just has to be very disciplined and dedicated to whatever she is involved in, whether it's leading the student body as the president or the musicals or being on the basketball court.
A lot of respect for students like that.
You know, it wears me out just listening to what they do and their accomplishments, and I just figure, I don't know, you have to be a young person to be able to handle that kind of a schedule, and she's one of those kids that really understands time management and is good at everything she does.
Walsh and Brown in for, or I should say Vanderhoff and Brown in for a moment. They have checked out. Final 2 minutes of this one. It has been Newell-Fonda from the start of the second quarter all the way. And Hafer's done her part with 5 threes trying to keep her team back and get into this one.
She had a really good second half, and they call a quick timeout to get some subs in. And Hafer's going to go to the sidelines to a nice hand, but boy, she had a good second half.
And speaking of subs today brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free at IMT at IMTINS.com. Final 90 seconds of this one, and then Newell-Fonda will find themselves in a very familiar spot. Semifinals in 1A. Walsh on the miss. And the rebound taken by Adeline Kanan, who is the freshman daughter of head coach Ryan Kanan. Madison Thomas in deep. And running down the basketball is Taylor Hafer, who is the sister of Nicole. And the ball poked out of bounds, and it will be Woodbine basketball with 57 seconds left. J.C. Vanderhoff and Kiana Brown, a couple of underclass players for the Mustangs come in. Vanderhoff a sophomore, Brown a junior. And you can see why when they graduate players, because they play so many people, they're experienced at the start of every year.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they just continue. It's a well-oiled machine for Newell-Fonda.
Dare I say it's a juggernaut for Coach Jungers?
Yes, that's good. I hadn't heard that one before, but I love it.
Why, thank you very much. Well, it's certainly true, as he's had 14 state tournament appearances in basketball, 4 state championships. He's been to state 8 times in softball.
And you know what? They're going to battle, and they'll probably be at the state softball tournament again this year. Kira, his daughter, is the pitcher, and a pretty solid pitcher as well. And we got a lot of the players that are playing here on this basketball team that are a part of that softball team. So they, my guess would be back up in Fort Dodge.
Addison Murdoch adds a couple for Woodbine. And the long 3 by Greta Larson won't go. So Bishop Garrigan and Clemson St. Mary's and now Newell-Fonda have punched their ticket for the 1A semifinals against the last entry in that one. Will be the winner of the game coming up between North Lynn and Winfield Mount Union. This one is history. It's an 81-60 victory for Newell-Fonda. They never trailed in this ball game, and they win it by 21 points.
They didn't trail in this ball game, and that's kind of the way they operate. They try to jump out quickly, get a big lead, and then just intensify the pressure as the game goes on, and it's just so frustrating for their opponent. But you know what? Credit to Woodbine. They never backed down. They were not in awe. They didn't fear that pressure defense. They were able to break through it, just too many turnovers.
Yeah, down by 23 at the half, and they lose by 21, so played them pretty even in the second half, although the game by then had been decided perhaps.
Yeah, they did a really nice job in the second half.
Let's send it over to our public address announcer for the awards presentation.
Each participating player will receive a commemorative basketball provided by the Iowa Farm Bureau, proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Presenting awards from the IGHSAU are Gene Berger and Gary Ross. Congratulations, head coach Ryan Kanan and the Tigers from Woodbine on an outstanding basketball season. And now Laney Hogrief will advance their team to the next round in the official bracket at center court. Mustang fans, your team advances to the 1A semifinals and will play the winner of our next game between Northland and Winfield Mount Union. That'll be played on Friday at 3:15. And fans,
Newell-Fonda with their 15th consecutive win. They improved their record to 23-2. Woodbine, a very impressive season for them. They finish up 23-3 and won their first conference title since 1983.
And they've got a lot of players coming back, so we might see them back here at state tournament. And Newell-Fonda gets to the next round. They don't want to slip up in the semifinals again this year.
They've won 15 in a row as they win it today, 81-60. On behalf of our color analyst, Laura Leonard, and our producer, Devin Taylor, and all of us here in Des Moines, I'm Larry Morgan, and thank you for watching our live coverage of the 2023 Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.